To the Yanomami, blood is a sacred part of life. But for anthropologists, it might hold valuable genetic information, since the Yanomami are an isolated people. That is why 40 years ago, a team of world-famous American anthropologists went to the Amazon to study the Yanomami, extracting hundreds of blood samples and bringing them back to the United States. But 5 years ago, the Yanomami began a campaign to get their blood back so it can be buried in accordance with their traditions.
That blood was taken from our grandparents, our aunts, our brothers and sisters, and they have already died. When a Yanomami dies, everything has to go with him.
Over the years, the blood specimens have found their way to many institutions, from the government's Cancer Institute to universities across the United States. The search for Yanomami blood in the United States leads to Penn State University. It's here where the largest amount of Yanomami blood samples is being stored today. Professor Kenneth Weiss, a geneticist, has kept between 500 and 600 frozen Yanomami blood samples in a freezer in his research lab for the past 18 years. Weiss, who has never stepped foot in South America and has no interest in the Yanomami, was given the blood from his professor for safekeeping before he died. Weiss has said for years he wants to return the blood back to Brazil, but it's never happened, he says, because the blood could contain viruses and therefore must be treated as biohazard.
This has been so contentious that if we send samples back and anything goes wrong, I'll get the blame. Even though I have had nothing to do with collecting them, I've just housed them here. And so we certainly don't want to be accused of giving disease to the Indians by sending them back hazardous material. And since they want these samples back, I would like to see them go back to the right people so that everyone there feels a sense of closure.
Professors at the University of California at Irvine and Binghamton University in New York, the other two institutions that have Yanomami blood, declined our request for an interview. The prosecutor's office in Brazil has formally requested the return of the blood, and now it's become a slow-moving and complicated diplomatic process with no end in sight.
We want the white man to listen to us and respect our rights. We have waited for 40 years, and we no longer want our blood stored as if it was meat or fish or any other type of food kept on ice.
These Yanomami Indians in this village where I'm at now, they really don't care about the bureaucracy and the problems and the challenges of returning this blood to them. They just want it back because they say it's their blood, and for them, it's spiritual.